Welcome back to the final video in our How to Rewire Your Brain series. In this video, we're going to talk about those terrible habits and addictions that you have and how to get rid of them, and not about someone I know that bites their toenails. I don't know what your bad habits and addictions are. I mentioned smoking because it's an easy target, and it's one that a lot of people are familiar with. There are, however, many others that we ignore and haven't recognized as bad habits at all. To recognize a bad habit or addiction, it's best to understand when they happen. Although some habits happen when we're bored, usually they happen out of stress. What is the first reaction you have out of stress? Do you bite your nails? Do you eat food? Do you twirl your hair? Some of these don't seem all that bad. If it's the worst, you've got it. You can still go a bit too far though. Biting your nails excessively can lead to inflammation and an infection on your skin. Eating too much can lead to extreme weight gain and type 2 diabetes. Twirling your hair too much can lead to... Well, Emmy, what can it lead to? It's important to recognize the habit first so you can learn how to treat it. The old wiring in your brain has made this a go-to habit in stress, and that's exactly when it needs to be treated. I need a good example on this next part that's common enough for everyone to understand. Biting your nails. We talked about that one earlier. It's really not all that important about how or why you bite your nails. We don't need that information to stop you biting your nails. Conventionally, what people will tell you is just to stop cold turkey, and maybe that works for some people. However, when you try to stop without attempting to undo that wiring, you lead to an interesting problem. Even if you never bite your nails again afterwards, because you stopped cold turkey, if you bite your nails for any other reason, you'll probably just get back in the habit again. Your brain still remembers that connection. This is another reason why it's hard for addicts to quit. Even if they manage to fight their addiction and their yearning to do so, it only takes one time to go back to their old ways. We have to do something different. We have to do something similar to learning, but the opposite way. It has to teach the opposite of what we already know. As I said earlier, it doesn't matter the how or why. What does matter is that you want to do that thing. We need to do the opposite to break those habits or addictions. How do you not want something you want? Oh my god, I love pumpkin pie. Ew, who the crap put celery in the pie? That's it! So if we are to understand that your habit is biting your nails, we just need to make them taste like celery. Joking aside, this is literally what modern science is telling us. We have to deliberately sabotage our own habits and addictions until we no longer enjoy or want it. You like something sweet? Put something bitter in it. You like the taste of beer? I don't know what the opposite of hairspray taste is. Whatever makes you not like it. I suggest you drop a cigarette in it and see how long it takes you to stop smoking and drinking.
Ha! Got him!
Okay, sorry. I just had to do it. I'm pretty sure you nearly threw up in your mouth. Seriously though, dopamine is the actor making you want to do it in the first place. The only way to discipline that is to reward it with a non-reward. A non-reward is not a punishment. Stopping cold turkey never breaks that connection in your brain, but having unwanted results at dopamine's request will almost certainly do it. Unfortunately, this is never something that happens on the first try. Like our other discussions, it's going to take persistence in your non-rewarding behavior. An addiction almost always requires you to up the dosage to keep the desired results. It's possible it's only necessary to taper off your addiction, and eventually your brain will start figuring out that it's not getting the reward it wants from your addiction. Unless, of course, your brain realizes it could get more. I'm not suggesting that you punish yourself for your addiction or your habit. It's very possible you could end up with a different kind of habit. Just try not to let the reward happen as your brain would like it to. Although it pains me to say so, there's actually a drug on the market for this. The drug is very serious, and they only give it to addicts. It's specifically aimed at drug and alcohol addiction, and it's called naltrexone. The drug is an opioid antagonist, and it works to deny us the reward and desire for our addiction. Like earlier though, it would be easy to quit cold turkey with this drug. Why is that bad? Because just like earlier, when you stop cold turkey, naltrexone is only doing the same thing. It will deny your urges now, but when you quit taking the drug, you'll be back to your urges and you will never have removed those connections. If you do happen to get your hands on a drug with a very specific dosage and the time that you take it, you may be able to wean yourself off of your addiction. It's important, like earlier though, you continue doing your addiction and slowly work yourself off of it. Repeating this behavior persistently, you should be able to remove yourself from your addiction entirely. I don't suggest this drug for you though. Not because of the price of it, the difficulty to get it, or even the side effects that might be involved. I don't suggest this drug because I believe you can do it on your own. Also, they don't give this drug to anybody unless they've got a literal addiction. Not someone who can't stop biting their toenails, Jeremy. Sorry this part of the video is a little bit different. I started thinking about this while I was editing, and I started realizing that none of these things are things that I've actually applied to getting rid of my habits and addictions, so it didn't really seem like it was genuine. I've had my share of addictions and habits myself. Biting my nails is a great example, but I used to play video games, get up late. If it was one of those days where I didn't have to go to work or anything like that, I just slept in. I would always show up late to meetings or events or anything that I've been invited to. And to be honest, there's still a few habits I'm trying to knock now. So what exactly did I do to kick my habits and addictions? It's something called mindfulness. And it's actually part of the reason why I've done these series of videos anyways. I think about things just a little too much, and because of that, I happen to wonder why it is I do certain things. If I'm biting my nails, I sit and think about it. Why do I do that? Why am I spending so much time doing that, and why is it that I'm destroying my nails in the process? When you think excessively about things that you're doing, you start to realize that there's not really a reason to do it. The sights, the smells, the tastes. I mean, I didn't like the taste of my fingernails, so why was it that I continued doing it? If you think about it long enough, it starts to dawn on you that maybe these things aren't helpful or beneficial to you. Maybe when you take that first drag of a cigarette, you start to realize it doesn't smell good, it doesn't taste good. What benefit is it giving me? Is it that simple relief of the addiction that I have? Mindfulness is probably why those things work that I was talking about earlier anyways. Like, for example, they've got this thing that you can put on your fingernails that kind of makes them bitter. And when you start thinking about them being bitter, you start realizing that there's not really a benefit to biting your nails to begin with. While doing the things that we've talked about in this video, I suggest you keep doing the thing that you have a habit with or you're addicted to. Keep smoking, keep biting your nails. But instead of maybe trying to find a way to quit, think about what you're doing. Think about why you're doing it. Every time you take a drag, think about what it's doing to you, how it feels, and what makes you feel like. Is there really any benefit to it? Keep doing it. Just think about it. Don't think about anything else, just what it's doing to you. All habits and addictions are psychological. There's no drug or anything that is any more than anything else. Nicotine is not a stronger thing trying to keep you addicted to it than even sugar is. Narcotics are no different. The only things that are strong and you can't quit are things that you give strength to. I think with the understanding now of how we get our habits, how they're created, and how we stop them, we can do what we want now without any fear of hang-ups or shortcomings. You can change. It probably won't be easy, and the only cost is a little time and effort. Maybe you can aspire to make some changes in yourself and start working on the other things you've been putting off. If you don't think it's worth all that, maybe you aren't ready for a change. Alright, I'm done. Let's not talk about addiction, habits, emotions, or anything like that again for a little while. My brain hurts so bad. Ugh. If you'll look down in the description of these 3 videos, you'll see where I got some of this information from. There's some books, and there's also a website that I got it from. We do silly things from time to time, but I take your self-improvement seriously, and you should too. It took me a while to put these videos together and keep them entertaining. Please like and subscribe. There may be lots of other people who never get to see these videos because of how small my YouTube channel is. It's very difficult to stand out on this platform. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, and it only takes a moment to create an account. I promise the only thing that you'll get from subscribing is seeing us here every week doing this same thing. Also, if you'd like to be notified when the next video comes out, click the bell button over here.